But San Marco, where is it? On 27th Street, 27th? Neat look.
Edna Purviance was Charlie Chaplin's one of his leading actresses as a young girl. But apparently she lived in this house, and there were 4 cabins that were put together, brought down from Spring City, which was an old mine up about 10 miles from here. And we took down several of the cabins because they were in disrepair. But what allowed us to build our house closer to the road was just to add on to one of the original cabins that was here. And so we jacked it up, put it on a foundation, and it has a lower ceiling. And when we took it apart, there were old newspapers in the walls and vines growing up in between and that. But and it wasn't very level, but it is now. So that's the original part of the house, is that one cabin that's left. And then we have on the property next door, which is where the first frame house was built in Paradise Valley, owned by the Holtz. We moved what was the living room over there to be my husband's workshop. So that's where it is now. We drug it down the road on skids and just set it up over there and kind of railroad ties and that. So. It's all different now. It's just the only thing that would be the same is the location. So this little room, this area right here, this room here, which is my son's, is the original room, and it has a very low ceiling. And this is the property that she owned, was just one lot here, and then we bought some adjacent lots from the Holtz.
Now, I was told that her father ran a flour mill. Is that still in the area?
Yeah,
or?
It would probably be out at the Casanellis, which is out by Martin Creek, which is directly east of here.
Maybe I'll head out there. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We were wondering that where's the mill run come down on the side over here? Oh yeah. Yeah. So there was a sort of a holding pond there, and it ran the turbine off a pipe.
Yeah, I guess back then that ditch, there's a ditch up there. It's called the mill ditch. It goes all the way from up there.
Right.
was real deep in there. It wasn't real wide, but it was narrow and deep, and that's what built the head up. There's like a 30-foot fall there to run that Pelton wheel. And that's
So
where
it's a
they got the
Pelton
velocity.
wheel pump on that?
I think
Yeah.
so. When you start there, I'll show you. This is the path there, electricity.
Well, are these beams original?
Yeah, that's original
yeah.
there.
Okay. And obviously the interior wall underneath it, the cripple wall underneath. Jeez, oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was there. I don't know how he, I don't know, that timber on the bottom, I don't know what he did there. He must,
Yeah,
that was a
just
kid,
scabbed
then,
on
but he
top
did
of that,
something
yeah.
there.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is.
So it's all here.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Oh, this is great.
And this is the, I guess that's the Pelton wheel. That's what I was
Yeah,
told. I guess that's,
Yeah.
it's, you know, of course, all throws up. But
Uh-huh. Jeez, and that's a damn good feed coming into it.
yeah, it came down, and
What
I
is
don't know
that,
how
an
it came
18?
out of here and went out.
18-inch pipe
You know,
on
I
that thing
think
or
that's
something?
actually 24.
24, yeah. And then all these flat belts would have, sorry, all those flat belts would have driven everything up top then, huh?
Yeah, I think it started with one of these. Well, I guess this must have been a power one here. It's got the
Yeah.
both of these. See,
Mm-hmm.
were the ones with the tighteners and get everything running. I think once these started turning, it probably was
They just continued.
kind of kind of helped out. There's a few of the old leather belts. That's a leather one over
Yeah.
there.
Over
Here's
here
a
too.
leather one too.
Yeah.
That came out. Both on the splice.
And this stone came out of the mountain over
Over
on the
here
outside?
about by the Bullhead Ranch. I don't know if you've been out that
No.
way when you go from the Humboldt River. There's a quarry out there.
Yeah,
Actually came out of Spring Creek, as they call it.
yeah.
Where that chain comes up. Right here.
Yeah, it's
And something here. They actually had their fire, they had water piped in here for their fire protection too.
Yeah.
These are the grinders. And the first mill had the stone with this stone.
Uh-huh. And then these went to
Patent numbers.
steel grinders?
Yeah.
1880, 1900, 1901. You're in the light there. If you go over to the side a little bit, the light will shine right on it.
Incredibly naive about the process. What's with all this stuff?
They're just shoots from the spring.
1883.
So that
Dropped it right
that
into
drops
these
the grain
grinders.
in?
Yeah.
The last patent number is 1891 on the other
See how
side.
everything's starting to settle because it's not,
Yeah.
not fitting
Yeah.
anymore. Timber.
So all of these wooden chutes were for the grain up above coming down into the grinders.
And those ones have
Uh-huh.
the belt with the cups on it that takes it up. So
Oh, I see.
it doesn't run. And he couldn't, he went.
You
for it.
couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it
It was
happen.
before
either.
everybody was into the health food and
Yeah.
he didn't have a market.
Yeah.
Had a good idea, but just didn't have it.
Time
Just was
is
too soon.
Yeah. Just too early.
What is
so
it?
Just
What is it again?
It's something to do, you know, I read about that and there's another one somewhere, but they had it in a magazine that was, they put out. And it was like during the war, wasn't it something to do with the army packaging for the cavalry?
I don't know, but you can see.
I
how-
can't explain it real good, but if I could find that article. We never did really know how it worked, but I know it was something to do with, they sold to
The military.
yeah, something, I don't know. I can't remember now.
No, but there's just
But
you know
that's
there's
what it
the
is, yeah.
cutoff there that would you just drop down a bag full and shut it off and tie it off.
It's actually pretty, I think I do have the paper. I think there was a guy from Washington come through and told me about it too.
Yeah.
And so what, her dad owned?
Her dad was
worked here or?
foreman.
He was the
As far as I
foreman
know,
of
he was
it.
a foreman. Yeah.
Well, the boss man or
Uh-huh.
whatever they called him back then.
Well, when
The
you know,
roof is even worse than the last time.
you can't help it when you got weather on this stuff, it's gonna go.
Well, you know, you don't make much money out here.
No, I don't know.
I didn't really want to put it into this.
Yeah.
But it's a
Understand
shame
that.
to see it going down so fast.
You don't see sites like this too often.
Could it
But
be-
these are the screens,
Uh-huh.
unless they're sifters or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this was the depot in Lovelock in those days.
The lifeline to civilization.
Looks like it's found other uses now.
Souvenirs, candy. No Charlie Chaplin dolls or Edna Purviance dolls? Depot, 1880.
You guys waiting for a train too?
Yeah, they said it'll be a while before another one leaves, though, so we have plenty of time.
Sometime in the next decade, maybe.
Here's a vintage newspaper page. One appears from 1903. There isn't a date on this one, but it's an announcement of a local wedding with lots of local townspeople attending, and who was there and what kind of presents they gave. And here's a name that looks like Purviance, which could be Purviance misspelled. Mrs. M.G. and Miss Myrtle Purviance, sugar tongs.
That's what they gave the wedding couple. Some sugar tongs.
There is no date on this
Actually,
paper.
there's an obituary, April 12th, 1903. So that's it could be that this is part of the same issue, April 18th.
It's a 1913 newspaper announcing a new hotel opening, which must have been competition for the Purviance one. In fact, the following is a list of those who registered, and among them is Miss Edna Purviance.
Now, did she come to town here, or
My grandmother was her aunt.
so that would be Edna's mother's sister?
Right.
I see.
And her name was Julia Brown. And then there were, four sisters, I guess. Her mother and my grandmother and those other two sisters were very close-knit. And they kept in close contact. And she used to come up like maybe every couple of years, 3 years or something. She'd bring her mother up, maybe just stay overnight. And that really was my only association with her. And I remember her as being kind of large. Her parents, her mother was a big woman. Very big busted.
Yeah.
It used to be a standing joke.
Oh, really? How's that?
Well, they were just so large, they were always kidding about it. Now, I can remember her sending boxes of clothes up to my mother
Is that
to
right?
wear.
Well,
And
that's
they were
nice.
beautiful.
I would think so.
In fact, I gave the museum a beaded dress that was hers. And my kids used to want to get into the stuff to play dress-ups, you know. And I never dreamed all this would be going on, and I let them do it. Probably ruined more than...
Now, do you still have any of it? Or?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, I sure don't. I have a little tiny Cupid doll about that big that she gave Mom, and that's the only thing I've got.
Do you know how Charlie and Edna met, or?
Yes, supposedly. The story goes, this is just strictly hearsay. After she graduated from high school, the sister Bessie went to San Francisco and was working, and Edna decided to go down there. At this time, they were living in Lovelock. And I guess it was pretty dumpy for her. And she went down there, and she went to a business school and graduated. And she got a job in San Francisco, but she spent, at night, she'd go to, can't remember the name of the bar, Tats or Tate's Bar, something like that. And that's where, and she joined the chorus line there. And Charlie Chaplin came looking for a leading lady and was reviewing the chorus girls. And he picked on Edna.
Did anyone talk to you about what kind of relationship Charlie Chaplin and Edna had, or?
Well, I guess they had a very loving relationship. I mean, he was... anything she wanted, he would try to get for her, and like that. And he was good to her when he wasn't in one of his moods, I guess.